Alright, everybody, I'm going to quickly go over possibility for a pretty, significant severe weather outbreak and even potentially a tornado outbreak that is going to be happening Friday into Saturday morning. And, as we get into it here, we're going to be looking at the convective allowing models as well. Let's first start off with the HRRR. We're going to start off at 21Z. And as we see here, we already have good instability that is present. And as we get to 0Z, it starts to really move northward, and we start to get convective supercells that start to initiate. Now, they aren't full blown yet because this event is likely going to start right around 0Z. But looking at the forecast soundings across Mississippi, let's just say they are very supportive of tornadoes, several tornadoes, some of them being stronger. But given the newer trends with us, we're really gonna have to watch. Here's another sounding. Why don't we take a box across the area? Large box sounding here. And bam, very supportive. Only thing I would like more of is 3 cape and lower level lapse rates. But you have a very good photograph, very good instability for December, and nice kinematics. Looking synoptically on the HRRR, you also see a very strong trough that's negatively tilted as well. Just making sure I am all good. You also have a very strong low-level jet of 40 to 50 knots available. And then you also have dew points getting up into the low 60s in Illinois, upper 60s and low 70s in Mississippi. And here in the 70s, bam, you get stuff like this. Ignore the contamination there, but very nice soundings. And there's also going to be a boundary, a prefrontal boundary that these supercells fire off of. The boundary is going to be located, kind of located like right here. The supercells will fire kind of in this area here, and they're going to track northeast and move very quickly, spread very quickly, move across the move the warm front further north as well, and bring with it the potential for all sorts of significant hazards. Now we're going to look at the NAM3, and we're also going to look, or not NAM3, we're going to look at the HRW models as well, and then quickly wrap up. Before I get further ahead of myself, we have a day 3 slight. This will get shifted around a lot more tonight and will likely go enhanced. Now here is the ARW solution, and as we see at 0Z, we are starting to see, again, convective initiation with supercells forming along a prefrontal boundary. Again, very good instability values, solid cape. If you get earlier in the day, we have a little bit higher mixed layer cape, but storms are expected to initiate between 7 and 10 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And when they initiate, they're going to have a very strong low-level jet and very strong shear overall. We're just going to take a sounding there in north central Mississippi. Now this model does not have the best photograph resolution, as it is more of a lower res model. Not low res, it's a high res model, but the thing about it is it doesn't simulate the photos well. So we're just going to look at the 0 to 1 kilometer helicity like normal. And you can see here we have over 300 available. Still another very good solution. Then off the NSSL, we still have very good dew points, 70s, with Again, 0 to 1 helicity of 200 to 300 available. And then 3 kilometer of over 300 available. Precip type, we have a low of a 996. This is one of the weaker lows. I think it'll be stronger than this. I also think at this point we're going to have some sort of cumulus towers, which is also showing here. And we're starting to get the storm initiation that we need. Now, the NSSL is running a bit low in stability. I think it'll be a bit higher than what it shows further north as well. Now, the FV3 is a very interesting model run. Around, we'll go to about 21Z, or maybe a little bit earlier. Around 18Z, it already starts to form stuff along a surface low ahead of the cold front in Arkansas, and this is kind of supercellular QLCS type stuff. It already has some instability to work with. I do think there will be more overall instability than what this model shows, but I do think it's right in the right ballpark reflectivity and shear wise. Once we get on the 22Z, we're actually going to make this a 4K salute. Once we get on to 22Z, we start to see these things become more discrete and more storms start popping across Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, those kind of areas. As we move forward with time, Missouri, Illinois start to get affected. We start to see better and better photographs come out of the area, and more instability starts to shoot up. Then around 0Z, we start to see hooking, actually not hooking, we start to see supercells start to really kick up in Mississippi. Note, there will be more instability than this. Just focused on the shear box with this. Very impressive shear, which will again look at supercell potential. And then back in Illinois too, we have a very interesting setup. Behind these supercells, we have very strong HOTOs, just no instability. Oops, I went a little bit too far. About to look at 0Z and then 01Z. So it looks like Indiana will get affected, and now we start to see portions of Arkansas start to see supercells fire up ahead of the cold front. Off this model run, again, very good shear. Expect a bit more instability, more in the order of 1,000 mixed layer cape. That's more realistic. And then right around 02Z, we start to see even more supercells form. There's continuous rounds of supercells. Here's Illinois, for instance, very solid. I think the instability is pretty right for that area. And then we start to see the more intense supercells form in Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee. If I take a sounding, southern Tennessee, we have a very good sounding here. The instability is pretty realistic as well. As we move on throughout the night, we see more supercells form. That's the cold front right there, and we see even more start to pop up. And there's overall QLCS ends up forming, broken line of storms. And in the morning hours, we still have pretty good soundings. Now, if we look at the updraft helicity corners and how they fare, they definitely start to go up at around 20Z when the storms fire, which I think is a little bit early to be honest with you, but we'll see. And they really start perking up, and you can just see some of these are long tracking supercells. Some of these are very long tracking. Like you see, I'll point out this one's very long tracking. I'd say this one is very long tracking. And then these are really just starting up. This one is very long tracking as well. So theoretically, I feel like anywhere in here has a real shot at seeing severe weather. I would say this black hatched area is where your stronger tornadoes will be most likely. As well. Now here is my severe weather outlook. So I put a marginal risk all the way up to Peoria, Illinois, Kokomo, Missouri, or Indiana, and then like Celia, Ohio, and then as far east as Lawrenceville, Georgia, there, Pensacola, Florida. Your enhanced covers portions of Jackson, Paris, Jonesboro, Little Rock, Montecito, Monroe, Jackson, Natchez, Columbus, Tupelo, Florence, Hackleburg, areas like that. Now remember, this is an unofficial forecast. I did go 10% sig tour, 30 sig wind, and 15 non-sig hail. And that's going to be your update. Sorry, it's a little short, a little quiet, it's late, and I'll see y'all in the next one.